Hey, what's up guys? Alex here with a new video. Today we'll be doing my first impressions on the Viltrox 35mm F1.8 for the Sony E-mount. If you're new to the channel, I am a portrait photographer based out of Orlando, Florida, and my entire channel is around gear reviews and comparisons. So when Viltrox reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to review the 35 1.8, I jumped on the opportunity. Before this lens, I had only used one Viltrox lens before, and that was the 85mm f1.8 for the Canon RF system. That lens optically really impressed me, but its biggest downfall was its autofocus. Now that's because of Canon. Unlike Sony, Canon doesn't play friendly with third-party manufacturers, and they don't give them their AF algorithms. So again, this being an E-mount lens and Sony playing friendly with third-party manufacturers, I was really excited to see what this $379 lens can do. Let's kick things off. I'm going to cover three things. I'm going to cover build quality, autofocus, and image quality. Again, let me reiterate, this lens is $379 and roughly around $350 cheaper than the Sony 35 1.8. That's a lot of money. So for build quality, this lens actually feels great. It follows Sony's kind of design, so it's small, compact, made out of aluminum. It feels like aluminum. It could be plastic. If it's plastic, I'd be very impressed, but I'm gonna go ahead and say aluminum. And it has an aperture ring like all new Sony modern lenses do. This lens though does not have a click option, which means the aperture ring is totally clickless, and the aperture ring only has one sensitivity. So some of these newer, fancier lenses have a smoother or more friction-based system. This is just smooth the entire way. It does have some resistance, which means you will not accidentally knock this aperture ring, which is a good thing, and you can really kind of keep it where you want it. Or you can just lock it in auto and control it with your camera. Personally, I love when lenses do this because by having the aperture ring on the lens, you free up a wheel or a button on the camera to customize it further. So for build quality at $379, this lens feels great. The only complaint I have, the only thing that feels cheap is this plastic lens hood. So not bad. The lens feels great. This lens hood is totally, let me see if I can. It's just cheap plastic. I'll take it all day long. Autofocus. True test. This lens has really impressed me because it's felt like a native lens. As a matter of fact, if you look at my channel, I want to say the last 4 or 5 videos have been filmed with a Sony a7 IV and this lens. So this lens for YouTube, for talking head, has done great with autofocus, and for photography it's done great. So I'll be putting up images here shortly when I do the image quality section, but tracking subjects, having subjects run away from the camera, running towards the camera, the lens just hit focus. So that was really impressive. I should say that I'm primarily a Canon shooter, and I'm not used to having a third-party lens like responding as good as a native lens. So when this lens kind of was keeping up with everything I was throwing at it, I was pretty impressed. So there is no kind of trade-off from what I saw. And I've used the Sony 35 1.8 on AF speed or responsiveness. Again, being a Canon shooter, it's kind of a breath of fresh air to be able to use third-party glass and not have any trade-offs. So there's definitely some points there, and really can't complain with AF. Image quality. So I'll be putting up images I shot with this lens. All the images have been edited with my presets, which is included down below if you want to check it out. But image quality, again, really no complaints. I'm personally a type of shooter that likes to shoot wide open, and I shot this lens at 1.8 100% of the time. And the lens was sharp, contrasty, really, like, I didn't even think about stopping down the lens to improve image quality. I think that's a great sign. I should also say that when I edit my pictures with my preset or whatever I'm doing, I always enable profile corrections in Lightroom. So if a lens has vignetting, or if a lens has some pincushion distortion or any type of distortion, I personally do not care because I will always check the profile corrections box in Lightroom and fix that. I've always been confused when photographers and reviewers complain about it because the software fixes it and you don't got to worry about it. So I'm not sure who that impacts, but I will tell you, if you don't check the profile corrections box, This lens does have tons of vignetting at 1.8, and I only noticed that because when I'm importing the images, I saw it, I noticed it, but again, completely goes away when you check the profile corrections box. Now, the big question is always going to be, is this lens comparable to the Sony 35 1.8, or is a Sony 35 1.8 worth the additional $350 to $400 over this Viltrox? That's a tough question. So I will say this, having used both lenses, the Sony 35 1.8 is definitely sharper. Now, when I say definitely sharper, that means I definitely noticed it. Is it 80% sharper, 100% sharper, 50% sharper? Like, no, it's marginally sharper. If you pixel peep, you will notice it. But if you look at the images side by side, it's kind of hard to tell which one's which. So if you're a pixel peeper, yes, the Sony is sharper. Is that sharpness worth an extra $350 to $400? That's gonna be up to you. Overall, I will say, having used this lens, I was very impressed. I was very impressed using it for YouTube, for my videos. I was very impressed with photography. And I will say one last thing. All my videos, this one I can't tell you because I am actually shooting this in RAW with a whole nother camera. We'll talk about this later. So for all my YouTube videos, I always apply a level of sharpening. Now, when using this lens with the Sony a7 IV, I actually had to turn that off because it was just too much. So that goes to tell you that this lens is plenty sharp, it's plenty contrasty, and with the a7 IV, I mean, it's a hell of a kit. And for $379, it's kind of hard to ignore this lens. And I'll end it with this. Before using this 35 and even the 85 1.8 from Viltrox, I would have always ignored Viltrox just because they haven't been in this game for a while, and I've really been impressed. So I gotta say this, don't sleep on Viltrox. These lenses are cheap, they're sharp, they're lightweight. I've been really impressed. So if you have an opportunity to rent this lens, to borrow this lens, to use this lens, check it out. I have nothing but good things to say about it. Honestly, the only complaint is that this lens hood just feels significantly cheaper than everything else, and wow, that's a hell of a complaint for a $379 lens. Guys, as always, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll actually spill the beans. I'm actually shooting this video with the Leica SL2S in 12-bit RAW. So let me know how that looks in the comments. I'm filming this with the Sigma 35 1.4 Art, the new one, and that will be my next video. So a little sneak peek. If you're into these types of videos, please subscribe. If you like the photos, you like the colors, check out my preset on my website. And as always, please like the video, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Peace.